much of an event is this election? I mean, isn't it pretty much in the prize that Ms. May is going to continue?
Well, I take note of your prediction that that the polls indicate that Theresa May is going to win this election. The view here on the ground, particularly in London, is that it's going to be a much closer election, perhaps than some of the polls would suggest. Now, taking into account that London's got many boroughs which are traditionally very strong for Labour, there is a feeling that this election could even lead to a hung parliament. Now, we'll just have to see. Last time the election was, of course, a great surprise, the outcome. So I think investors here in London are a bit more skeptical about that May victory. Okay,
Christopher, hi. So in that case, if Theresa May does not win, which of course right now is an outside chance, in that case, could there be a bit of a correction, or do you think the market will just move on regardless?
I think, if anything, markets have been taking greater political risk in stride since the election of President Trump. Certainly for UK investors, there's some implications for sterling, but I'm not even sure that's necessarily going to turn out the way investors believe, because there may be some implicit forecasts of interest rate rises should there be a Labour victory, for example. So I think that markets will just carry on, really being driven by more fundamental data, such as lower oil prices and lower interest rates.
Okay. Beyond that, Christopher, any sort of expectations from the ECB? Is there anything they could say that kind of moves the needle for the market?
Well, I think the ECB is working right now very hard on how it positions its language with investors on how best to describe either shrinking the balance sheet or smaller purchases in the bond market. Certainly, that will have to come before any rate rise. But I think they're working very hard on that language, and I would expect something before the end of the year in terms of some change in the language. And I think that is contributing to the strength that we've seen in the euro versus the dollar in the last couple of months.
All right, Christopher, thanks a lot for your